Hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking at a router, and we're going to be talking about its functionality and what you would use a router for. So the first and foremost thing you should probably know is that we're going to make some comparisons today to a network switch. So it is highly recommended that you review what a network switch is before continuing on to watch this training video. So this is what a router looks like, and this is what you will encounter in the field. Now, keep in mind that there are various models for routers, so what you will encounter in the field may look slightly different. However, the connections will all be the same. Now, the router you will encounter in somebody's home will look differently than the one that you encounter in the field. The home is usually a lot smaller. So the functionality between an enterprise router and a home router is very similar. The enterprise level one is just a much grander scale of control and operation, because you usually have a lot more to control at that point at a business compared to a home.
What is an enterprise network? An enterprise network is an enterprise's communication backbone that helps connect computers and related devices across departments and workgroup networks, facilitating insight and data accessibility.
Now, what does a router do? So a router in somebody's home and a router that you encounter in the field will look pretty different. The one in the home is typically much smaller. The one in the business level or enterprise level is usually a larger one, like you've seen, like we showed earlier today. The difference being is that the enterprise one just operates on a much grander scale of operation compared to the one in the home. That's pretty much the only difference. So what is a router now? So a router connects multiple computer networks together via wired or wireless connections. It acts kind of as a traffic deterrent between the multiple networks. So now think of a traffic cop or a crossing guard at a school when children are crossing the street. They will direct who and when goes where at any given point in time. Now, why do businesses need routers? Well, typically on a business level, you have multiple networks going at a time, and you need that router to make communication between the two networks go together. So just like that traffic cop or crossing guard, it will direct traffic properly and accordingly between the multiple networks. Now, the router should be pre-configured for you when you receive it. The only thing you should have to do is plug in your connections when you get out to your site, and that's what I'm going to show you now. But also, for information purposes, the most common time you'll encounter a router is if a property has a WAP set up. So now your first connection here would be your DSL or your T1 line, and that would go in right here. Now that will depend on what your property's infrastructure has, but it'll be one of the two of them. Now your telephone cable or your RJ11 cable will connect here in the POTS connection. Now POTS stands for plain old telephone service. It's your backup in case the DSL or T1 connection fails or goes down. The very last cable you'll need is a standard Cat5 cable, straight through one, and that'll go into one of these two ports here. Now after everything's connected, all communications start working shortly after. Well, that wraps up our overview today on routers. If you want any other information on routers or networking in general, you can request training from our technical training site on the SharePoint, or you can always use Google for other information as well, for general information purposes. Don't forget to look at our YouTube webpage for other technical training videos, and as always, check out SG Learn for other information on SG's products. Thank you very much, and have a good day.